Okay. Now, secondly, a lot of people are asking me, we understand that you've taken an action against the federal government. And yes, I have taken an action against the federal government for one of their mandates. And it is their travel mandate. Their travel mandate dictates that any person who's not vaccinated for this alleged pandemic, this alleged COVID, cannot travel by plane or train across this nation. That violates one of the very important provisions of the Charter, Section 6, which is mobility rights, which says any Canadian, all Canadians, from coast to coast to coast, have the right to travel anywhere in Canada or leave Canada. Well, with this federal mandate, that's not true. I'm a Canadian, and I'm not permitted to travel on a plane or a train to travel across this country. This has damaged and, what shall I say, violated the rights of a lot of Canadians and hurt a lot of Canadians. I don't mind relating to you two things in the last 2 days. I get anywhere from 250 to 600 emails a day, right to this very day. Okay. While I'm on this broadcast, I'll get quite likely 100 to 150 emails just in an hour, 2 hours. Okay. And I get a lot of phone calls. A lot of people are asking me questions. A lot of people want some hope and some assurance. Okay. And so I took an action against the federal government's travel mandate because I wanted to challenge these mandates. There's a lot of provincial mandates. There's a lot of federal mandates. This particular federal mandate of travel applies right across the nation, right? From Tofino to Bonavista, from Iqaluit to Niagara Falls. Okay, it applies to it all across. So that was one reason why that everybody would understand right away when I issued that challenge or issued that lawsuit, because everybody is affected. Everybody has friends, family, business in different parts of the nation. We're used to traveling. It's a huge country. It's the second largest country in the world geographically. Only Russia is larger. Okay, we're larger than the United States. We're larger than Brazil. We're larger than China or India, which are big countries. We're the second largest country in the world geographically. And therefore, travel is very important. Remember, it was the railway that linked all of the country together. That was travel. That was a train. That's how important travel is to Canadians, right? It brought the country together. One of the reasons why all of British Columbia joined and all the Prairie provinces joined was because they would be linked with the rest of the provinces that were forming to form Canada. So travel is critical. The river systems of Canada, right? In the early explorer days, the St. Lawrence Seaway, you know, the Mackenzie River, right? The Fraser River for fishing, the many other rivers around all of our provinces are very important for travel. So travel is very important. So that was one reason why I chose that particular charter right to challenge the federal government, because everybody would be affected and would understand it quite easily. Secondly, by taking a federal mandate, I immediately go to the Federal Court of Canada. Okay? And there's only one more step. Whoever loses at the federal court, either if I lose and the other people who are suing under my suit with me, if we lose, we're quite likely to appeal it to the Supreme Court of Canada, or if the federal government loses, they're quite likely to appeal it to the Supreme Court of Canada. There's only one more step. All the other provincial mandates demand that you go to the provincial courts first, then to the Supreme Court of Canada. And that's 3 steps. Anybody, and there are many challenges, and should be, all of these provincial mandates should be challenged as well, and many of them are, but they have to go to 2 steps in the province first. The trial division of the Supreme Court of that province, and then the Court of Appeal of the Supreme Court of that province, and then to the Supreme Court of Canada. So it's a 3-step process, and it's much longer. Mine only has a 2-step. Mine and the other people who are part of the suit that I'm taking only has 2 steps. So it's anticipated that therefore my lawsuit will get through for a final adjudication quicker than the others. And hopefully by doing that, it will impact positively, if we win, the other mandates. I mean, if we win this mandate against the federal government, it will say a lot about the other mandates that have been put in place by the provinces. It was registered on January the 26th of this year. Okay, so it is in the court now. It is registered, and we have the file number and all of that. And my lawyers, who are the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms, and many of you are familiar with them. They have a number of lawsuits underway, a lot of them dealing with the Constitution, a lot of them dealing with the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. They are perhaps the premier group in Canada today that are fighting for the rights and freedoms of Canadians. I don't know if there's any other group in Canada that have launched as many lawsuits against the governments, provincial and federal, as the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms. And so therefore, and that's who I'm using as well. Plus, they have hired some outside legal lawyers as well to assist them because they're very, very busy. And if you go into their website, you'll see that they're always seeking more lawyers to join them because they have so many people coming to them every day and every week asking to be represented by them in a legal suit against one of the governments, okay? So that's who's doing it. And they have, as I said, in my particular case and with the other people who are part of my lawsuit, the way it works is that I'm the sort of the lead claimant, but there's 5 others named in my claim because what the Justice Center is doing is getting examples of how this travel mandate has affected different people. It affects me because I can't go across Canada and speak like I am in British Columbia on the Constitution. It's too far away for me to drive from here to a speaking engagement, even in Ontario, will take a number of days, right? Whereas if I could fly, I could do several speeches while I'm traveling to Ontario in 4 or 5 days, where I could only do one if I have to drive all the way to Ontario. It makes it and impedes and restricts my right as a Canadian to travel across my country under the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, Section 6, okay? So it's very important. So these other 5 people who are part of my lawsuit all give different examples. One is I have a business in Yellowknife and I have a business in Ontario. Now I can't travel for my business. My business is being negatively impacted.